Alright, welcome to Fallout 76. And I'm playing a dude that I started completely over. I'm level 36 now. I have the best name in the game. I don't know if you saw it. I'll leave it to your interpretation of whether I'm a supporter or not right now when you see that name. But yeah, it's been great actually. I will say this, the subscription really helps, but I'm gonna give you some tips on what I used to do stuff like this long before I even had Fallout First, so it is possible without it. But Fallout First just makes it so much easier, mostly just because of the survival tent and the private and the scrap box and the survival tent, and then also partly the private server. Those three help tremendously, but they're not required. But I haven't died once yet on this dude. I just now got to the point, everything you see that I'm using, I'm deliberately not using legendaries too on top of it. I don't use legendaries on this dude. And everything I'm using, I have, is totally first time on this dude. I didn't even use my other characters to help him out right now. And you can see my build is all over the place for now, because I'm going to be heavy guns melee mostly, because that's the best, especially if you're not using legendaries, it's the best, I'd say, and power armor. But it's not required, though. And this is also the very first time I'm finally using heavy guns. Alright, dude, where are you? That's my dog. I cannot edit out as much in videos now. This is pretty much just live. I'm not getting close to it. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand you guys. Melee is useful and I'm gonna use it, but I hate it. I hate the insane. Maybe it's because I'm still on the Xbox One, but I didn't used to have these problems. I'm convinced it's definitely the game. But my stupid melee does not register like half the time. I can do power swings, and half the time they don't do double damage like they're supposed to. Half the time a power swing in melee does the same damage as a regular swing. And I rely on power swings when I'm not using a strict melee build. Like, will this kill you, please? Thank you. How much will this do? This... Sometimes I'll freaking one-tap them in melee with a power swing, and other times it takes freaking 5 hits. And then it doesn't register, and oh my gosh, I can't stand the melee enemies in this game. Just getting all in your face, and then just they're behind you, and like, oh my gosh, targeting in melee. You'd think it'd be easy against other melee dudes, but I can't stand it. They like just are in the most. See what is this? I'm power swinging, and it's not. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It like does the double damage, but then it takes the damage away from me. It's like I can't stand it. Alright, I've ranted enough about how terrible these games are. You came here for tips. Or just to see me struggle. Oh, mini nuke, I forgot about that. So, thanks to the survival tent, I pretty much just let myself get overweight constantly. Because I'm just going to go outside and scrap everything and put it in my stash box. But a tip you can do is... Pro tip, When you're first starting this game, if you don't want to use the survivals, the Fallout First membership, then I would recommend finding every train station location, because all of them have a stash box and workbenches to scrap stuff inside them. And several of them are right next to like tons of enemy spawns. Which in my view is very key if you want to just loot tons, and also when you're first starting out trying to get caps. So I have 13,000 caps on this dude. Now 5,000 of that is from the scoreboard. But still, I have successfully farmed 8,000 caps on this dude. Strictly and only from selling to the vendors in the early game. And that's because I use all of my guns in the beginning. That I farm all these guns, I let myself get overweight to the extreme constantly. And then I just sell all the guns. Until now I'm not doing that, because now I need them for scrap. Especially since I'm using ammo now. Let me turn this down some. Will you get off my stupid butt? Oh my gosh, dude. Go away. Give me your meat. While I'm talking about, that's another pro tip, is I actually heal, as you see I'm doing, with food and water a lot more, because it is really easy to get tons of food and water when you need it. It's why I use the Good with Salt perk. I don't have it on yet on this build, but I will later on. But if you're looking to just be an invincible monster, I would recommend getting carry weight reductions, like Traveling Pharmacy early, Through Hiker early, and I honestly just combine stims with food and just have crap loads of that stuff on me. In addition to still being a full health build, decent amount of endurance. You get rejuvenated endurance, because I'm pretty much always at full health and water, so why not? It gives you actually a huge buff. 45% AP regen, plus 50 health, another point in strength. It's a really good buff, unlike some other ones that are just so meager in this game. I'll be doing other videos where I probably talk more. Right now I'm just ranting. What was I saying though? So train stations are very good in the early game to just stay around them and, you know, bring your weapons over to them to sell to the vendor, or scrap them if you got your 1,400 caps for the day. Who just spawned? Oh, okay. This game is just so annoying sometimes where enemies... this is understandable. I knew there was a stupid turret here. I just forgot to destroy it. But enemies will just spawn, like, literally in your face sometimes. It is so annoying. I'm also only just now really using power armor a lot. So I got all the way to like level 30 with that, with barely using power armor. I also finished Belly of the Beast, so I've been focused on the main quest, and I actually got through the main quest, most of it now. Totally solo, didn't die once. Also, I have not done any ammo crafting at all up to this point. I literally just crafted ammo for my 50 cal finally now. But oh, this is what I wanted to also bring up in this video. I'll just say this at the end, and then I'll give you some more tips in the other videos. But as someone who started this game in beta, they made this game so much easier. Oh my, it was already an easy game. But dear Lord, like they give you don't have to understand. You noobs just starting now, you don't get it. When I started out, this game wasn't still that hard, but it had its challenges, and I died some for sure. Especially to, super mutants in the early game. And super mutants, once you hit like the level 20s, are definitely annoying, and much more tankier. But they give you ammo like no tomorrow now. I notice like if you're killing ghouls or animals and stuff like that, they will now drop the ammo you're using. Which they never did. I can be using a sniper rifle, and they'll drop me 20 rounds every kill, such that I never have to... I get a surplus of ammo killing. It's ridiculous. But so my tip also, my tip is that when you're getting up to level 20, ignore crafting, ignore any of that stuff. Just use what you loot. You don't even need to repair. I got to this point, level 36 now, and I'm only just now starting to finally repair weapons and armor because I am just constantly swapping out guns and armor they give you all the time. And better ones as you level up because they're leveled to you. That's why I think that you really should not be focused on like gear you plan to keep and use and builds that you plan to keep until you're literally like getting close to level 50 and up, because that's when the gear stops scaling for you. But before then, like, you just get like I'm using combat shotguns right now, right? They start giving you combat shotguns at level 20, and believe me, you should be using them. And again, it doesn't matter what your build is. If you plan to go heavy guns, if you plan to go all in on melee, don't care about focusing on that early. Just use all kinds of weaponry. I don't invest in the damage perks for any of those guns because they're so small that you're better off just using what the game gives you that's leveled to your... Now, the damage goes up because it'll keep giving you better stuff. The same stuff at higher levels, and you just keep using it to kill the same enemies. Like, use that that automatic pistol, and then when you're at level 5, and then when you're level 15, you get another 10mm automatic pistol that you use. Don't repair it. You're going to be getting the same gun constantly for most of them. And I'll get stuff to save. Like, I got this 50 cal early on, and I saved it to use now. So, like, really good guns you just want to keep for a few levels later, then do that. Same with armor. Armor I don't repair. Like, once it breaks, I just have another armor in my stash box to just stick on it. Like, I wouldn't even bother focusing repairing much, because I can tell you, again, this character, I'm a pro player, but this character, I did not use anything. I just totally did it on my own. The power armor I'm in, it's I have a Raider helmet that's still level 15 that the game gave me, and then the rest is T51 armor I have on that I've just swapped out. And by the way, I'm doing it the same with this armor. You see this right leg that's about to break? I actually have another T51 level 30 piece that I looted that's at like half condition that I'm going to use once it breaks. Because I don't want to, especially because it costs a lot of resources to repair T51 armor. I don't know why. It's ridiculous. It costs more to repair T51 level 30 than level 50 Ultra Sight. It's ridiculous. But that's why I'm telling you, do stuff like that. Don't invest a lot into crafting and wasting so many of your resources. Loot everything for crafting later on, but don't do it now. You're going to be doing that later on when you and then you'll have the resources to make your millions of ammunition and all that stuff to use like this kind of gun forever now. So just wait on, and then also because then you'll get the perks at that point to benefit more in crafting. So save your loot as much as you can. Save the loot. Loot as much as you can, and save as much loot as you can until you're into like the level 40s or 50s, I would say. And you can do it and still not die and be great up to that point. All right, I'm out of time now for this video.